Hare Krishna, my dear Prabhus, dear Matajis. Good morning. Salamat. And we are now again here sa ating meditation and yoga philosophy course. Akala mo yun, we're halfway already. Diba? Bilis ng panahon. And thank you for always joining us. Hare Krishna, Abby, Cariz, John Ray, Prabhu, Levi Prabhu, Mel, Mataji, Bhakta McCoy, Prabhu, Bhakti Milka, and others will join in a while for sure. And those who are watching sa atin recordings din, kasi may mga students, they're watching the recordings. They're part of it, pero late because of the schedule. You know the drill. We should be in the right mood, in the mood of humility as we approach our study of our yoga philosophy and meditation. So join me as we recite the invocation mantras. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tashmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Satarine Vancha Kalpataruvyaschа Kripasindu Yevacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vashade Gauravakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, sino nakakatanda ng ating previews na acronym? Dalawa yon. Dalawang chapter, 5 and 6. Medyo mahirap tandaan kasi dalawa daw. Because this is the step and easy. Step is we must be, just like the gurus, stay in the world. There you go. Because wherever we are, we should stay in the world. We should live in the present moment, but much as possible should not be contaminated by the other energies. Paano natin gagawin yon? Sadhana. Association, chanting, the reading, the study, and others. That is in the path of Bhakti Yoga. So, continuous lang sa express elevator of Bhakti Yoga. There are three doers: the soul, Krishna, and the material nature. And it will be impractical if one is worshiping the material nature, kasi it seems na sa material nature nanggagaling yung mga nangyayari sa atin. But it is not. It is actually sanctioned first by Krishna. So it is not always us being the cause of what's happening around us. There's a lot of factors actually. 1/3 lang tayo nun. Equal vision, because we need to see with equal vision yung different living entities as the soul, and of course si Krishna is also with them. And the peace is Bhaktaram Yagnatapasham. Si Krishna yung supreme beneficiary of all sacrifices. Even is the Lord of all the planets and demigods. And he's the beneficiary. He give benediction to all living entities. If one knows this, he will find peace. And if everyone knows this and following this, this is the real peace formula. And sabi ni Arjuna, gusto niyang pumunta sa gubat just to practice mysticism, monotheism. Pero sabi ni Krishna, that is not easy. First, the mind, you have to deal with the mind because it can be your enemy or friend. And the process of Ashtanga Yoga, the details is so hard. You must sit in a deer skin, not too much elevated, not too low. The platform, the control of the breathing should be there. The control of sleep also, and the eating should be perfectly still. The mind should be 100% in attention, and that will be for years and years and years. It's not easy. Success or failure, if the impersonalist failed, 0. He will get 0. If he succeed, he will get 0. The meditators and the mystic yoga, they will get 0. But if they want to samadhi, the end of it, meditating on Krishna from within, next life, they will have a chance, an opportunity to continue to the path ng bhakti, to step it up. But for those who are in the path of bhakti yoga, if he did not finish this lifetime, let's say he passed away, he will continue next life. 50% this lifetime, next life 51%. So the yogi that is most intimately united kay Krishna is yung mga with great faith, always abides in Him, always thinks of Krishna within himself, and ayun yung greatest yogi para kay Krishna. Those who are the bhakti yogis because meron silang personal relationship, loving relationship with Krishna. So we finish 1 to 6 chapter ng Bhagavad Gita. This is actually divided. Most of the topics here are karma yoga, activities in connection kay Krishna. And the last 6 chapters ng Bhagavad Gita is Jnana Yoga. That is 13 to 18th chapter. Mostly knowledge. But when you combine this and we put the action with love and devotion, that is Bhakti Yoga. So we are entering yung middle chapters ng Bhagavad Gita. Just like the Mahabharata, sobrang laki na ito, sobrang dami na ito, 100,000 verses. Yung middle na ito is Bhagavad Gita, which is the most important from that part ng Vedic scriptures na Mahabharata. And from the Mahabharata, yung middle 6 chapters na ito, yung pinaka-importante. And from this, of course, makikita natin yung mga pinakagitna. It's like a spiritual sandwich. Doon nakatago yung mga essence. So, inhale. Welcome sa ating Essence of Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 7, The Knowledge of the Absolute. Ang title natin is Head. Kasi si Krishna yung head. Godhead. Supreme Personality of Godhead. It will be fast, but it will be informative for sure. So, please press like if you're ready. Let me see. Are you totally present? Hare Krishna. So that's head. Letter H natin is hearing. All throughout the process ng Bhakti Yoga, hearing should be there. That's how important it is. Sa 7.1, Krishna says, Shri Bhagavan Nuvacha, Maya Shakta Manaparta, Yogam Yunjanmad Ashraya, Asamsayam Samagramam, Yathagyanasi Tachrishnu. Shrinu means hearing. Sabi ni Krishna, now hear, O son of Partha, Arjuna. How? By practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, within mind attached to me, with mind attached to me. You can know me in full, free from doubt. So listen. Arjuna is always being instructed by Krishna to listen. Because that's the medium how to receive the spiritual knowledge, to listen. Hearing. So, Srinu or Strinu is hearing. Even if one is advanced spiritually, they should hear. Hindi sila pwede magsabi na, advanced na ako, wala na ako papakinggang classes, Hindi na ako mag-aaral, wala na akong teachers, wala akong mas senior, no. Those are the impersonalistic, the lazy, no, spiritualists. Alam ko na yan. The more you learn, the more you advance, the more you know that you don't learn. The more you advance, the more you know that you don't know everything. So the more you learn, the more you listen. So of course, may benefit in hearing. And sino dapat yung papakinggan natin tungkol kanino? We should hear about kay Krishna. Kanino? Sino yung right source? Si Krishna himself. Siya mismo. Galing sa kanya. And about sa kanya. You cannot learn about kay Krishna dun sa mga tao na hindi naman devoted ni Krishna. It's like the other translation ng Bhagavad Gita. This is a waste of time and money and energy. But we should hear about kay Krishna from Krishna himself and from his devotees. By such hearing, Krishna in the heart acts as best wishing friend. So the Paramatma or Krishna, the Super Soul, expanded himself. He can do that. He is all pervasive. He expanded himself. The mystic yogi could expand up to 9 times lang. But Krishna could expand unlimitedly. So sa bawat heart ng isang tao, isang soul, Krishna is also there. So when one is continuously hearing this knowledge, chanting also and hearing, si Krishna from within is much more active connecting to us because we're not turning our back to Him already. Nakaharap na tayo sa Kanya. Then we could much more hear Him. So yung bumubulong sa'yo, Mel, or sabihin sa'yo si Carice, you should chant. Diba? Stop it, you should chant. Stop na yung pag-scroll sa cellphone. So that's Krishna. That inner voice pushing you to move forward spiritually. So those who are the inner voice mo na kumukontra palagi, that's Maya, that's illusion. Krishna purifies the devotee who is constantly engaged. So it purifies the heart from the unwanted baggages. So in conclusion, only way to understand Krishna, the science of Krishna actually, is by hearing from Krishna or from his devotees. The right source, accurate understanding. So hearing. So yan, more qualifications. Si Arjuna, because Krishna is his friend and devotee siya ni Krishna. So ang definition ng knowledge is to know matter. But the complete knowledge means knowing the matter, spirit, and the source nung saan nanggaling yung mga yon. Gets? That's the complete knowledge. The spiritual knowledge or transcendental knowledge. Yung knowledge lang, okay, you know what's happening with that matter. May PhD ka papunta dun sa matter na yon, sa scenario na yon. But spiritual knowledge is knowing also the spirit, the matter, and kung saan galing yun, which is kay Krishna. Because this Bhakti Yoga, this path of Krishna consciousness, is actually easy kasi wala siyang material qualification. Hindi mo kailangan ng PhD para mag-Bhakti Yoga or maging Krishna conscious. At the same time, Bhakti is very difficult kasi we should remove our selfish desires. Kailangan with selfless devotion tayo. Hindi tayo nag-mental speculate or with other basing on ritual. Bhakti is easy and Bhakti is very difficult. But Bhakti will be very easy kapag we are in the association of the like-minded person. Sabay-sabay. We have a teacher or a mentor, spiritual mentor, and our ride or die, our cellular friends are also in the same path. It will be easy. Very easy. So on letter E natin, Krishna told Arjuna that he is everywhere. He's the taste of water, the light of sun and moon. Siya rin yung Om. If we're chanting Om, siya rin yun. But of course, you want to go personal. That's why we're chanting His name. He's the sound of ether, the ability of man. Lahat ng ability of man, sa Kanya galing. You can easily pull it out. Even the fragrance of earth. From the fragrance of earth, different fragrance will come. Diba? Heat of fire, life of living being, even regulated sex life of religious principles. Sa Kanya rin yun, siya rin yun. Intelligence of intelligence, prowess of the powerful. So yes, I'll send this to you so you'll have a list. Nasa Bhagavad Gita rin to, 7.7, I believe. So, our letter A is accept or reject. Who doesn't accept? Who does reject? Who does accept and who does reject the authority ng Supreme, also the Bhakti Yoga. So, minsan kami, the monks, when we were traveling around, we just, very simple. May mga souls na hinug na. May mga souls na hindi pa. Ang dami pa nila kailangan ma-experience for them to be able to be really awakened spiritually and act on it. Maraming nagigising lang, pero tutulog ulit. The awaken. Or ayaw bumangon. Sabi nga, mahirap gisingin yung tao nagpapanggap na tulog. So even they know, I know, Prabhu, I know, pero they're not acting on it. So, there are those who are ripe souls, ready to be spiritually awakened. We're always on the hunt, me personally. That's why I always travel. There are those who are sukritinas or pious men. Sila to, arta, artati, ginyaso, gyani. In different ways and means, one will be awakened spiritually. Sometimes because they are so distressed. Ito yun, nandito. Sa right side, lower right. They're sometimes well-seeker. There are those who are really inquisitive. And the highest is one who desires to knowledge about the absolute truth. These four, sila yung mga masinog na. They're ready. Not all, of course. Yung ibang distress, pag nawala na yung heartbroken siya, pag di siya heartbroken, hindi na siya magiging practice ng spirituality. Balik bisyo na siya. So, ang dami ko nakilala ito. Lagi ko niloloko. Lalapit sila, pupunta sila sa temple kasi heartbroken hearted. Tapos pag di na sila broken hearted, they will forget yung spiritual practice. Balik sila sa dating old habits. So the greatest of these four is those who are in desire to have knowledge of the absolute truth. The well seeker is there, and also those who are inquiring. So at least itong mga to is on the path. Papunta sila. And there are also in different details. Sometimes they will be awakened spiritually because of near-death experience, loss of a loved one, o dahil sa pandemic, or ayun nga, na broken heart, na-distress sila. Yung iba, nag-psychedelic, yung iba, nag-India, iba-iba. Pero it's not 100% na pag nag-India sila, nag-meditate or nag-psychedelic or nag-yoga, magiging spiritual person. No, very little percentage. They will come in contact and they will pursue yung path of bhakti. Very little. So it's not always an assurance na mag-drugs ka lang, maging spiritual ka na. No. Hindi ganun ka-cheap. Hindi cheap si Krishna. Hindi cheap ang spirituality. It's not a piece of paper to take or a few drops of drugs or a ticket to India. Hindi ganun yung spirituality. But with association of those who are already Bhakti yogis, it will be easier for them. Kasi may guide, there's a mentor, and also the vibration is sobrang nakakahawa. There are those who are also miscreants, those cretinas. Sila yung kahit anong gawin mo, hindi sila magigising basta-basta. Those who are mudhas, naradamas, maya paritagyan, and asuram bhavan asritaha. Mudhas are fools. Yung mga third-class learner, fourth-class learner. First-class learner, they learn from hearing. Don't put your hand, sabi ng tatay dun sa anak, don't put your fingers sa electric fan kasi baka mamutol or masugatan ka. Okay, Dad. The second class learner, parang totoo kaya ito? Ah! Oo nga, tama si Daddy, buti hindi naputol. The third class learner, sakit baka pag left hand saka index finger. Baka pag index finger. Fools are kahit paulit-ulit, they wouldn't learn. They wouldn't get it. The only means and ways, give them prasadam, spiritualized food. Let them hear the holy name, the chanting. Sometimes they will not get the philosophy. There are those who are not inclined to learn the philosophy. They're not mature yet or ripe yet. So meron no lowest of the mankind because of their karma. They were born to this scenario and they could not uplift themselves. And there are those who are proud. Knowledge stolen by material energy. Ito yun. Even the scientists and philosophers. There are those who are knowledgeable also but seeking. There's those who are proud na I'm God kasi mas marami akong alam. I'm better than you. Knowledge stolen by material energy. And there are those who are envious or demoniac. They believe in God. They're not atheists, they believe in God, but they are always against, envious because they want to be God themselves. So letter D natin dun sa head, the difference is demigod worship is material. But the Godhead, which is Krishna, is spiritual. You worship the demigod, you will get material benefit. You worship the Supreme Krishna, you will get spiritual benefit. So the demigods could give you material benefits. Could give you a wife, beautiful wife, could give you money. But that doesn't mean na ikaka-advance mo yun spiritually. Yung iba ay kinakaligaw nila. Those are the demigods. When you worship Krishna, he will give you service, devotional service, love for Godhead. And that's spiritual. So dun tayo sa rekta kay Krishna. So that is head. Very simple, very fast. Chapter 7. Hearing is the most important because in the process of practice and perfection, hearing should always be there in the humble mood. And Krishna is everywhere he mentioned. Actually, he will mention again in different chapters how he is everywhere. You want to hear, you want to see Krishna through hearing. That's why we are studying about Krishna. We are seeing Krishna through our ears. That's much more important than by the eyes. And Krishna is also expanded himself everywhere, even the taste of water. Those people who accept and reject, don't waste your time on those people who reject always. You cannot change their heart kasi ayaw nila. But there are those who are ready. Spend time with them. And demigods versus Godhead. Demigod gives material benefit. And the Supreme gives spiritual benefit. So inhale. This is the chapter 7. And we are entering the chapter 8. Attaining the Supreme. When I was younger, lagi namin pinag-usapan. Alam mo yung mga usapan ng mga bata. Saan mo gusto pumunta? Langit or lupa? Or heaven or hell? Siyempre, sabihin ng mga tao, diba? Yung mga kalaro namin nun, heaven, siyempre. Pero the trick question is, are you ready to die? Kala ko gusto mo puno ng heaven. Ba't ayaw mo mamatay? Because takot yung tao sa, nakunod, death. You will attain the Supreme kapag you stop the cycle of birth and death here, the samsara, by the means of yoga, bhakti yoga. Then you will go back to God. That's attaining the Supreme. But you have to die first. Natural, of course. You don't have to kill yourself willingly. Kailangan natural. Laws of nature. Because we don't... Suicide means you will become a ghost. So that's the acronym for today. Second part is dead. The head and dead. So easily, you could remember. Head and dead. So nakwento ko yung ibang culture, they have Day of the Dead. Pilipinas may All Souls Day, All Saints Day. Diba? Pag may namatay, pinaparada. Because we should always be reminded that that is just waiting for us. We are approaching it fast. Every day, we are dying. If 33 years old ka na, 33 years old ka na namatay. So in this conversation, there are doubts kay Arjuna because si Krishna is very expert. He mentioned different terminologies kay Arjuna for Arjuna to ask more questions. So remember this Bhagavad Gita, hindi pa tapos yung conversation nila rito. Ano pa rin sila sa gitna ng battlefield before mag-war. Tapos may binanggit si Krishna, tapos may tinanong si Arjuna, ano to mga to na binanggit mo? So these are the questions by doubts ni Arjuna. Ano yung Brahman? Brahman is spirit. Another term, the indestructible living entity. And what is Adhyatma? He is the controller of the body because that is Adhyatma, eternal nature, the self. He controls the body. If wala yung soul sa body, it cannot be controlled. Karma is the fruitive work or the action and reaction. Yan. Activity which generates a material body for the living entity. At yung magdi-dictate ng next body mo, your karma. Adibhuta, sabi ni Arjuna, what is Adibhuta? Sabi ni Krishna, Adibhuta is a material manifestation, this material world. Adidaiva is the supreme demigod, which is the universal form. Si Krishna yun. Na includes lahat ng demigods and different planets. And sino daw yung Adiyagna, the enjoyer of sacrifice? Diba? Bhaktaram yagna sa Pasham. That's Krishna, the Paramatma, or Krishna from within. And another question is, saan mo makikita tong Adiyagna na to? It's in the heart. So si Krishna is in everyone's heart as the super soul or Paramatma. So sinagot lahat ni Krishna to kay Arjuna. But this 8th question is very important, and the whole 8th chapter, sinasagot ni Krishna to. That question is how to remember Krishna at the time of death. Bakit sobrang importante ma-remember si Krishna at the time of death? That is the final exam ng isang tao. The whole review mo, yung buong buhay mo. We will know later. Bakit? And answers the 8th question in the main subject for the rest of the chapter. Letter E. Kasi at the end of life, ante kalechamam eva smaran muktwa kalevaram ya prayati samadbhavam yati nasti atrasam saya. And whoever at the time of death quits his body remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. How to attain Krishna? You should remember him at the time of death. Kasi if you don't remember him, you will remember different things. Different scenario or different people, your attachment. You can open your Bhagavad Gita sa 8.6. You can read the translation. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. So if hindi mo naisip si Krishna, whatever state of being one remembers at the time of death, doon siya pupunta. You thought of your kamag-anak, balik ka doon sa kamag-anak mo. Pero doesn't mean na tao ka. You can be an e-piece doon sa bahay ninyo. Because that's your karma. Then attach ka pa rin doon. You're attached with this activity of yours, tulog ka ng tulog, then you'll become a bear. So depende sa karma. So in the book na Coming Back, there's a story there na naisip niya yung deer. And next life, naging deer siya. So totoo yun, na kapag malapit na mamatay ang tao, you can ask, may mga thesis na ganito, study. Nakalimutan ang tawag sa thesis dun sa PhD na course. I mean, na PhD na studies. There's this one professor, and from batch 1, na-confirm yun kasi estudyante siya nung professor na kinukwento ko. Kwento sa akin ng isang philosophy teacher from UP Los Baños. This professor is an atheist since bata siya. Tapos yung PhD siya, yung study niya nung parang thesis nila nun, pero siyempre mas mahirap. Inaral niya yung mga tao na nagkaroon ng near-death experience. Ano mo conclusion niya? Since atheist siya, because of that study, naging conclusion niya is, there's God. There's someone supreme. And the reincarnation is happening. So yes, totoo yun. In the near-death experience, merong mga flashback ng memories natin. Di ba sa movies may nakikita ang ganun? Yung split second, ang dami na flash na sa kanya yung buong buhay niya. Si Navadip Chandra na-experience yun, isang teacher natin every morning. Sabi niya, few seconds or few minutes, buong buhay niya, nalala niya. And the most na binuhusan mo ng consciousness mo nun, ng energy and time mo, ayun yung mas magiging prominent. Just like parang may memory card ka, kung ano yung mas picture na nilagay mo doon, ano mas marami mo kinuha, mas madalas mo siya makikita. And that will give you your consciousness at the time of death, and you will remember. So imagine, puro intoxication lang na nararanasan mo buong buhay mo kasi that's your life. Ay yung matanda mo bandang huli. That's why this is Krishna consciousness. Your whole life is your preparation for the final exam. If you always remember Krishna, even if you're doing your own duties, just like Arjuna, pero he's remembering Krishna, you're doing your, as a teacher, as a office worker, or as an artist, if you always remember Krishna, even with that scenario, your consciousness is always with Krishna, and you will remember Krishna. That is the final exam, death. So knowing this, one should not be afraid. Matatakot ka lang naman pag alam mong hindi ka nag-spend ng time remembering Krishna. And alam mo marami ka abominable activities. Tapos maalala mo yun at the time of death. No, if a flashback sa'yo yun. At the time of death, you will remember bad things. Yung mga ginawa. And at the time of death, when the karma, they should go to the lower planetary system or hellish planet, they will see the angels of death, the Yamadutas. Very scary. How scary they are? They will piss and defecate themselves. Kaya nakikita niyo totoo yun. Yung ibang nasa that bed nila, sobrang takot sila. Tapos nangyayari sa kanila. Because they are actually seeing yung mga Yamadutas or angel of death. There are also those who are Vishnudutas, angel of death, pero dadali nila kay Lord Vishnu. Sobrang gaganda naman nila. So yes, the death is our final exam. So you should not be afraid of death. But you should not be foolish na mamamatay ka because of an accident or because of one's foolishness. That's the only way how to attain Krishna. Not always, but if you're Krishna conscious. Attaining the Supreme. Bakit gusto natin palagi pumunta sa spiritual world, not sa material world? Because the material world is full of miserable condition and it's temporary. Happiness and distress is there. Dualities. And the problems of life na meron yung tao sa material world, birth, old age, disease, and death. Itong apat na to. Pagmasdan mo yung mga sinasolve ng mga tao, laging ganito. Yung old age pa lang, ang dami ng ginagawa ng tao para hindi sila magkaroon ng old age. Hindi sila matanda. And disease, of course, they want to be healthy. And they want to not to die. So, yung material world pa ulit-ulit dito. And also, this material world is a constant annihilation and creation. It is a place to learn. This is not a real home. We will learn our lessons here. It's not also to Just live the life merry and happy and sense gratified and don't care. In comparison, in the spiritual world, this is eternal, no time, free from birth and death. So, full of unlimited bliss, sobrang saya doon. Unlimited, fulfills all desires. There are wish-fulfilling trees or kalba brick siya. Yung tree dito, pag mango tree, biproduce niya mango. Diba? Sa spiritual world, no. Pag may tree doon, kahit anong hilingin mo, mabibigay sa'yo. Unmanifested. It is unmanifest to our mundane eyes. Hindi natin makikita yon. And it's also the supreme destination. A place where there is no return. That's the spiritual world. The heaven and the hell is still part ng material world. But above that, beyond it, is the spiritual world. So there's a big difference. So this is the way of leaving the body. If one is in the path of impersonalism, gyanis or the yogis, they reach the Brahmajyoti or the light. If they are in the path ng goodness, mabait sila sa mundong to, pupunta lang sa heaven planets, but still, material world yon. But if one is a devotee of Krishna, one will go to Krishna Loka. Loka is place, planet of Krishna. I'll show you a diagram where yung Vedic cosmology. This morning we're discussing it. Sakto pala discuss din natin yan. Because this is the Vedic cosmology para makita natin which is which sa new heavenly planets na sinasabi ni Radhacharan palagi. But this is not proportionate because in the whole creation, 1/4 lang ng creation ni Krishna is yung material world. The 3/4 is the spiritual world. So this is the Vedic cosmology. So this is one universe, only one universe. So in the middle is Burloka or Earth planet. Lower planetary system is the hellish. Higher planetary system is the heavens. Different demigods. If you're gonna be a demigod, dito ka. So isang universe lang yan. And there are a lot of universes in this material creation. So dito nag-meditate yung mga impersonalists sa nothingness, sa light. That is just the boundary. Brahmajyoti or the Nirvana. Actually, this is just the effulgence, aura ni Krishna. Saan natin gusto pumunta? Here in the spiritual world. Where Goloka Vrindavan or Vraj is there. Vaikuntha Loka and material, spiritual world. These are material world. This is the 3/4 composition ng buong creation. And atong proportion na to, hindi siya this ratio is not proportion. Just for the illustration. Pero maliit lang itong mga universes na to compared do sa spiritual world. So if one dies, either he will go here or dito lang siya sa heaven or sa hell lang siya or lipat-lipat, ikot-ikot lang siya dito. Our goal is to escape here. That's why our line is the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Going up here kay Krishna. Yan. That is the going back home, back to God. This is the real home. Our material world is our temporary home. So that is yung destination ng mga different practitioners. Different path ng life. Just like those who are meditating on nothingness, dun lang sila sa light. After some time, babalik ulit sila sa world, material world. Heavenly planets and those who will go to Krishna. So, inhale. Napakabilis lang. Kasi you have to die to go escape this material world. To attain Krishna. Pero, in that moment, we want na nag-invest tayo ng spiritual life natin, sa spiritual life natin, and our consciousness for us to always remember Krishna at the time of death. That's not easy because death is a painful experience. It's like hundreds of scorpion stinging you. The attachment is there. Nag-worry yung mga tao. Paano yung mga anak ko? Sino yung susuporta sa akin? Si bubuhay sa akin. Ang daming unfinished business. Painful. Diba? Shocking. Lalo-lalo na kung mamamatay ka with a lot of tubes. Tapos nire-revive ka ng mga doktor. Tapos nag-iiyak yung mga kamag-anak mo. It's not a peaceful death. You'll not remember Krishna that time. That's why the practice of Krishna consciousness, if you would see my mga videos, it's always glorious death. That's the idea. Have a glorious death. Remembering Krishna, hearing Krishna together with devotees, bhakti yogis. And this is unavoidable. The end of every flow, you'll go to corpse position, savasana. Because that's the cycle. One will have to die. The question is, are you in control kung saan ka pupunta next life? Because of our free will, magkakaroon tayo ng little control. And we want to go back home, back kay Krishna. So that's letter D in doubt. Ang daming sinagot ni Krishna sa question ni Arjuna. But the whole chapter, he spoke about yung how to remember Krishna at the time of death. And how? By investing in your whole life. Being Krishna conscious. So that's why the sadhana is there. The consciousness is there. Chanting, reading, association, serving. So even you're doing your own thing, music, arts, and all, but the consciousness should be Krishna, with Krishna. And in that way, it will be easier for one to remember Krishna at the time of death. Sometimes, Krishna will arrange na may mga devotees sa paligid for them to remind you to remember Krishna, or they will chant. So that's glorious. That grabe. End of life, kasi if one remembers anything, whatever he remembers at the time of death, he will go there. Yung attachment niya, ganun din. And if one remembers Krishna, he will definitely go to Krishna. If one remembers Krishna alone, so 100%. That's how one attains the Supreme. And in different kind of devotion, in different practices, that will determine the next destination. But this will be the how to attain the Supreme, having the glorious death of remembering Him. So now, we will see death differently. Aside from changing the bodies at the time of death, the soul will travel, but it will be the determining factor sang body ka pupunta next life. And we don't want to end up in another body. Our goal is to finish this business here in the material world. This cycle of birth and death, or samsara, birth and death, birth and death, and birth and death. We want to go back home, back to God. That is the real yoga. So that is dead. We had head and dead. Today, assignment. Write down your realization about that. Given all the knowledge that we've learned from all the previous things that we want to unlearn. So you can please write your realization. Antayin ko yung realization ni Summer. Pag nagpasa si Summer ng realization niya, masaya na ako. So that is the assignment. And before we go to the question and answer, we end up early today. Picture muna tayo, everyone. Please open your cameras. I don't know if you've watched, alam mo yung Enter the Void. Baka alam ni Liva yung Enter the Void na movie. Diba? Balik siya dun sa kapatid niya, diba? Kasi attached siya dun sa kapatid niya. Pero that is like Mayan belief. Kasi straight back to human person lang siya next life. Hindi palaging ganon. If you have a karma to become an animal, to go to hellish planet, to heavenly planet, pupunta ka muna doon bago ka bumalik sa pagkatao. So medyo incomplete yung reincarnation process na sa movie na yun. Gaspar Noé. Wow, nice to see everyone. Hello, Cariz. Sila Abby. Yan sila Mel. Oh, si Dave. Hello, Dave. Congrats sa yung teacher's training course. Yoga teacher's training course. So, smile in the camera. Count of 3. And 1, 2, and 3. One more, 1, 2, 3. I'm always humbled and honored being with your presence. Hopefully, you've learned something today. It's a underrated topic palagi about death kasi takot yung mga tao pag-usapan to. Nakakunod sila palagi. Pero if you're not afraid of that, you could live your life to the fullest. Not for sense gratification, but with all satisfaction with spiritual life. The perfect balance will be there. I am humbled and honored. Thank you very much, John Ray, Shay, Mataji, Abby, Levi, Dave, Mel, Carice, Mactin Milka, Summer, and McCoy. So please continue to finish your rounds if you're chanting today. Not yet finished with your rounds today. Read the books, do the assignments, and you can share this. Sa pinakamahirap na paraan and pinaka-safe is by actions. Because last time I checked, action speaks louder than words. So if you don't have any question, please be vigilant, be careful, and you may continue to do your duty and be Krishna conscious. I'll wait for your assignments pala, ha? Salamat, Hare Krishna, and high five.